Deb Watson here with Watson Watercolor, where all the lessons are free. The next 8 tutorials are going to focus on mixing color. This is my setup. I buy paint in tubes and I squeeze it out onto my palette wells. Let it dry. Then when I want to paint, I re-wet them and get paint from the wells. Now here's the basics of mixing color for this tutorial. If you use only 4 or 5 pigments, you can just get scrap paper, mix 2 together, and see what happens. Our first color is phthalo blue, which is also sold as Winsor blue and a lot of different names. Next is a yellow. Third is burnt sienna, which is a common color for landscapes. And last is an accent color. We're going to use a little bit of red. On scrap paper, I'm mixing the phthalo blue with the other colors so you can see what happens. A watery blue plus a watery yellow will give you a light green. If you use more paint, this is the same color, just more paint and less water, you can see you get a darker green. The phthalo blue plus brown can give you a very dark neutral mix. Sometimes it will give you a dark green. Last, if you mix green plus red, you'll often get a brown or a dark neutral color or a dark red, depending on your paints. Mixing gives you a lot of choices for your painting. The best way to learn how to mix colors is to paint. Here's the outline of this tutorial, which you can download and trace if you're not good at drawing. Start with the sky, which should be darker blue at the top, going to very light blue at the bottom. Now mix a puddle of light blue. Don't try to paint color right from your wells. You need to get your colors out and mix them to the right consistency before you start. You can use a piece of scrap paper to test your puddles and play with them until they're exactly what you want. If you don't have a palette to work on, you can just use a white plate from the kitchen. Mix more paint than you think you're going to need. It won't go to waste because we're going to be using these paints through the whole painting. For the sky, wet the entire area with a big wash brush, going right over the trees down to the horizon line. See this little bit of red? I'm going to put a tiny bit of red on the sky part of it, very light. You won't be able to see this later, but it will help harmonize my landscape. I don't want the red barn to be the only red bit, so I'm going to add red to a couple other areas. For your sky, use a big wash brush, start at the top, and keep painting down. Don't dip into more paint, just let the brush run out of paint and it will get lighter towards the bottom. Try not to do too many brush strokes. You wet the paper so that the water will do the work. It'll let the paint blend, and you shouldn't have brush strokes showing. While that dries, let's give the foreground the initial wash of color. We're going to get the main areas established before we attempt any details. Wet the foreground. Paint on some yellow, and you don't have to cover every inch. It's actually going to look better if you don't overdo it. While that's still wet, mix that yellow with your leftover blue to make a light green. And then add a couple horizontal areas of light green. This should be wet enough to spread a little bit without disappearing. Now I know I make this look easy, but there's no other way that you can learn how to paint without actually getting in there and trying it. If you keep at it, you're going to figure out how much paint and how much water you need to get the results you want. The middle area behind the trees and the barn, we want that to be a medium value. So mix a puddle of brown or brown and yellow. Add a little of this mix to the leftover light green to make an olive green. Now you have 2 puddles of color. Paint the middle area on dry paper. Just dip your brush in one color, paint, and then dip your brush in the other color and keep painting. Let the 2 colors blend together a little bit, but you want a little bit of variation in the color. Just take your time and paint carefully around the trees and barn. You don't want too much detail in this area. You just need the correct value. I know the photo has some nice little distant trees, etc. So if you really want to add those, do it at the end of the painting and keep all the values medium so it doesn't distract from your main focus. Once again, dry the middle area well. Time to evaluate. My sky is way too light. I'm going to give it another coat. I get out more blue. Once again, wet the sky with clean water and start at the top. That's still not dark enough. Maybe a little more dark blue. It just takes practice to get the correct amount of paint and water, but you can do as many washes as you need. The skies out west, where I took this photo, are usually beautiful deep blue, but even they get lighter as they approach the horizon. Now my sky is dark enough. While it's still wet, I'm going to lift out some clouds with a paper towel. This isn't my favorite cloud method, but it's quick and easy, and I know people love this technique. So here goes. Don't do a lot of small clouds. Do 1 big area and 2 smaller ones. That's usually about right. Don't dab too hard in the beginning. It makes ugly edges. Dab softly. If the color fills back in, just keep dabbing. The darker your sky is, the whiter your clouds will seem. Let's evaluate again. Now that background behind the trees and barn, it looks kind of flat to me. It looks like a stripe of color, and I want more texture in there. So re-wet the area with clean water, and you have 2 choices. You can paint on more color, or you can wipe off some of the color, or you can do both. That's what I'm going to do. I'm adding a little more color in diagonals and wiping off a little bit of color. If you like your background, you don't need to do anything, but I like texture. Dry that well, and it's finally time to paint the trees. Now, I've been playing with the idea of having the tree on the right being a brown or an orangey color. So I mixed an area of brown, red, and yellow. Oops, my sky wasn't dry enough, and now some of the color is escaping. I tilt the top of my paper up to keep the color for the tree down where I want it. You want your trees light on the top right and really dark at the bottom. Red and yellow are not going to give me that dark value. If you remember from the beginning, we mixed a puddle of very dark using blue and brown, and I'm adding just a little red so it matches these colors. I'm painting around the other tree, but I'm not doing a straight line. I'm trying to make a little textured leafy edge. The tree trunk gets the exact same color. It's in the shadow, and you can make your tree trunk brown if you want, but if you go look, trees actually aren't brown, and I think it will look better if it's the same color as the bottom of the tree leaves. Then continue up with more color, and you can use your small brush to blend the light and dark colors together. Now, you can also use a sponge for painting trees, and here's a link. Sponging is fun, so that's another option if you want. Paint that tree and dry it well. Now we're going to do the green tree on the left, which also needs to be lighter on the top right, and get darker at the bottom. Light at the top, then switch to a medium green. Now, in the reference photo, this tree has some holes where the birds could fly through. That would be great to leave. Mine's a little solid looking, but I forgot to leave the holes because I was concentrating too hard on getting the color and value right. When you get to the bottom, go back to the really dark mix. To use a small brush to blend the values on a leafy tree, I usually just kind of dot the darker value into the lighter, but you can also dot in clean water that would create tiny blooms for texture, or once the wash starts to dry, you can sprinkle it with salt. Trees can be a lot of fun to paint. There's a lot of different ways to do it. While that dries, I'm using the dark mix to paint the darker trees around the barn. There are 3 areas that you want very dark, darker than the background. The value is actually more important than the color. I keep looking at this brown tree. I hate the brown tree. I decide to make it green also. Did you know you can change a color of something that's already painted? It depends on the colors, but you can always give it a try. Green will cover most of the lighter colors. I'm going to just paint the green right over top. And here's the last of the bushes around the farm. Now, the bushes don't really need detail. They're very tiny, but if you can add a little bit of a darker color at the bottom of the bush, it's going to look really nice. When the trees are dry, it's time to paint the barns. The barn roof, because it tilts and it has different planes where the sunlight's hitting it, the colors look different. The middle section is kind of a gray. You can mix a gray just using some of your leftover color. And paint this middle side of that barn. And the side of the roof that shows on the left side of the barns can also be gray. That's just a little line. You can also use the same gray for the sides of both barns that are facing us. I used a lighter version of that gray to draw a few lines on the top section of the front barn roof, and picked up a little brown for lines on the bottom section of the back barn roof, because rusty barns are more interesting. Now that this first layer is dry, I'm painting the left barn a reddish brown, and I'm painting the right barn with straight burnt sienna. If you like barns better than landscapes, you could just paint these barns and leave out most of the landscape. People love barns, especially red barns in a green landscape. Last, and I know this is picky, but the roof and the trees are the same value here. So I'm just going to darken the bottom of the light tree so it pops the barn out. Evaluating this one more time. If you love your foreground, just stop there and add the fence. I want a little more definition in my foreground, so I'm cleaning out a spot for more light colors. Light yellow brown, and some light green. I still want soft edges, so I once again wet the area before I work on it. Then I dab up most of the moisture because I want it not wet, but just damp. I start by adding some short grassy brush strokes with my light colors. This gives me some definition without being very distracting because the values are very close. The main value difference is in the dark tree and barn, and that's where your viewers are going to look. The rest of this landscape just supports those main subjects. All the colors are professionally matched because you mix them from a limited palette of the 4 pigments. Last, it's hard, I just can't help it but add a few little details. I love details. So here's a few birds in the sky. That gives your viewers something to find when they look closely. And last, the bits of fence posts that are sticking up through the grass. You want the posts darker on the right side, getting lighter and fading out as they go left and getting farther away. Don't forget to give me a like, and remember, your painting doesn't need to look like mine to be successful. Every painting is a little different, some are very different, they're all good. Visit watsonwatercolor.com for more painting fun, and happy painting!